Petra and you're watching the Cat Crazy channel. I have a great guest with me today, and we'll be talking about toxins in cat beds and other environmental toxins in our homes. So, Melissa, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, Petra. Thank you so much for having me. Well, I'm Melissa Mezzalira. As you can probably guess from my accent and my last name, I'm originally from Italy, a little town called Treviso near Venice. I moved to the United States about 12 years ago. I am an absolute cat lover. I have 2 kitties on my own, Maya and Baby. And about 5 years ago, I started Cats Essentials, which is my company, and we're focusing on organic cat beds and beds.
How did you get into this? I mean, what is your story? And you must have had a reason to get into all of this, right?
Right. As many modern pet parents, I started being increasingly concerned with the products I was bringing home for my pets. Mm-hmm. And he actually started it from their food. So at that time, I actually thought I was giving them premium cat food, and I realized that I wasn't. And so I started my search to discover healthier options. Because we know, how important it is for them to be fed a healthy diet.
I know.
Right. And so,
too, yes.
Yes. And so that opened kind of like a can of worms, because I started questioning everything that I purchased for them. So I started basically taking apart their cat beds, their toys, everything, to see how they were made and what was in those products.
Yes.
And what I found out is basically most of these pet products that we purchase in conventional pet stores are made with synthetic fabrics and fillers. And so I have a strong feeling that these materials can't be healthy for our cats, because basically they are they're petroleum based. So I started doing research on this topic, and I did find several that confirm my concerns. For example, one study found that cats, particularly cats, pets in general, are more sensitive and vulnerable to environmental toxins, but cats had 46 chemicals in their body in this specific study. And some of those toxins were 5 times higher level than the one in humans. And the most astonishing one to me was the fire retardants. Fire retardants, also called PBDEs, were 23 times higher than in humans. And so I started searching, why are cats so sensitive to these toxins? And there are several reasons. The first one, we all know cats groom themselves. So as they clean their bodies, everything that they come in contact with that lays on their fur or on their paws, they're basically in, and so it's in their system now. Also, we know how our beloved kitties, how much they love to sleep or lounge around. And so they spend a lot of time in contact with surfaces. And the surfaces, if they have toxins or chemicals in it, they can either inhale it, or again, it gets in contact with their skin or fur, and then again, end up in their system. And the third reason that is specific to cats is their liver function, because cats, being obligate carnivores, they lack some enzymes that don't help them to detoxify themselves. So their own system is not capable of eliminating those toxins. And that's why they're much more sensitive and vulnerable. And that's why I think it is extremely important to talk about this topic, because it really affects their health. It affects our health too. But in this specific case, we're talking about cats. And so I think we really need to pay attention, because unfortunately, these environmental toxins are often overlooked because they're invisible. We don't know where they are, but they are in the air we breathe, they are in the surfaces that we touch, they are in the products that we use. And so they're everywhere. And I think it's important that we become aware, especially, for both, for ourselves, but also for our kitties.
Yeah, and that was actually also my second question. Why is it important for pet parents to know about that? Well, obviously, you just explained it. The cats are very vulnerable to this. And yes, I see that. It's the same thing with cat litter. They lick their paws, and then whatever it is, they get it in their system. So what are the most common toxins that can be found in those pet beds?
Right. Okay. So there are a lot of chemicals, but we're going to touch on the top ones. The one that comes always in mind is formaldehyde. This chemical is often found in wrinkle-resistant fabrics. It's found in upholstery. is found in foam or anything really like with adhesive. Think about even man-made wood like MDF or plywood or these kind of things. And these specific formaldehyde can cause respiratory issue for our kitties, even skin and eye irritation because it evaporates. So and unfortunately, long-term exposure to this toxin can cause even certain cancer, which is really, really sad. The second one, which I kind of touched on it earlier, is the flame retardants or PBDEs, because these actually affect the endocrine system of cats. So it interfere with their hormones. And so there are studies that shows that cats have developed hyperthyroidism from specific flame retardants.
Because so because of these flame resistant retardant things, they have now developed hyperthyroidism, right?
Thyroidism. Yes. Because the flame retardants interfere with their hormones, and so the thyroid is related to that. So the endocrine system. If they're exposed for long term to this, and flame retardants are very commonly used because they're part of companies have to respect some flammability standards. So in most of the even our own human furniture have flame retardants. So.
Yes, that's true. I mean, like, what do you do? Like when you buy a new sofa, they all have those things in there, right? Because it's kind of like a must. You have to have that. What do you do? I mean, you can't help it. I mean, you can't. What is it? Your cat is going to sit on your sofa,
Right. Well, and this is the reason why I know it sounds almost impossible to get rid of all the toxins we have in our home, right? And so my idea when I started Cats Essential was let's start by creating an oasis for our cats where they can be safe. So like if they spend a lot of time sleeping or lounging, but we have, for example, your cats like to sleep on your bed. Okay, let's place an organic blanket or pad and they will sleep on that and that becomes their safe space. My cats love to be on the sofa or everywhere. So then I place several cat beds around. So when they sleep on their place, they are not breathing those toxins. They're not directly in contact with it. Yeah. As long as we put a layer, even if it's a layer over the toxic material, it's always better than for them to just lay on something that is toxic.
Right. So when you say, okay, so what materials should you avoid and which one should you choose instead if you can and see that
right. Well, particularly I would say anything synthetic fabrics. Think about polyester, acrylic, or nylon. Those are all petroleum based fabrics. The one that I suggest to avoid at all costs are polyurethane foams. Actually have samples here. This is when I started taking apart beds. It looks like this. This is one of the most common foams that you found in beds. These kind of foams are very dangerous because they emit VOCs, and so the cats basically will inhale and breathe in the toxins in here. And then recently I've noticed that some of the orthopedic cat beds are using memory foam. Memory foam is not a better, safer option than this kind of foam. So what I suggest is natural. This is actually organic latex. This is how we make orthopedic cat beds. This is absolutely 100% natural and is certified. And these are a much safer option than the kind of foam that we just see. Another filler that I will stay away and is the most popular is polyfill. It looks kind of like a cotton-like, but it feels like very slippery. Mm-hmm. It's very slippery, and it's also made by polyester. This is to avoid possibly at all costs. You
shouldn't be touching it.
Instead of this, I'll suggest my organic and natural materials are organic cotton. You can actually even see the little black pieces because it's so natural and has no pesticides, no chemicals, nothing in it. Right. And my favorite of all is this natural kapok. I don't know if you ever heard about it. It's the fluffiest and most. I absolutely love this. It comes from the ceiba tree. It's a tree that is grown in South America. Okay. And it is like a big teapot, and when they open it, this fluffy thing is inside. And this is amazing. It's my favorite fillers of all.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah, it's sometimes they use it now for like human pillows. And we use it for our cats. They love it particularly because you know how they like to knead. This one is just so soft that. Now, one important thing, we always say that do not let your cat play with the fillers, because while these are natural, so they don't pose any danger to them. But if they ingest it, they could create a blockage. So you shouldn't be pulling apart. We also have the outer cover, so everything is zipper removable, machine washable. So the inner pillow, you don't ever have to touch the inside.
Right. That's awesome. So what are the benefits like of using this kind of material? Obviously, it's non-toxic. So is there anything else that you would say about this?
Yes, absolutely. Well, first thing obviously is there are no toxins, no chemicals. But the other benefits of these organic and natural materials are, one, they're naturally flame retardant. So compared to the synthetic ones, they're more resistant to fire, which is a good thing. Two, they're naturally hypoallergenic. So they're naturally resistant to dust mites, and that helps with like allergies or respiratory issues. Another one that is big for me is thermoregulating, because synthetics are not breathable. Yeah. So when your cat sleep on a synthetic bed, it basically holds the heat in there. And I don't know if you notice sometimes those cute paws sticking out of the cat bed is because the cat is overheating and is trying to cool down. So I love seeing that, but it's not a good sign because basically it's trying to cool the temperature down. And then what happens is that it's not having a good sleep. And then most of the time it needs to be moving and finding another bed or another place to sleep. While the organic materials are very breathable, and so they thermoregulate themselves to the cat's temperature. That way they can keep the cat warm in the winter and cool in the summer, which is very important. Wow. And then the other important thing is they're gentle on the skin. So not having any chemicals or toxins, even if the cat is in contact with it, it won't cause allergies or sensitivities or irritations.
Right. Wow. So we're talking about cat beds right now, but you can change the whole environment in your home. So what are some tips that what would you recommend doing despite just the cat beds?
Yes. Well, there is a lot of things that we can do, but let's start from the basic. I think we'll start from the air. So one suggestion is, for example, to have an air purifier that helps to clean up some of the toxins that are on the environment. One thing that I like, though, is to add plants. Obviously, they have to be cat-safe plants, especially if your cat likes to chew on greens.
They like.
So plants, absorb the toxins from the environment, and so helps clean up the air. The other thing, it will be possibly, to open the windows if it's a safe, that, your cats won't jump out. If you have screens or maybe like a high window or something like that, because, fresh air is always good. And then we should also pay very much attention to the things that our humans do, like those scented candles that we love so much. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not so good of an idea. We should, for example, we can opt for beeswax candles with the cotton wick, and those don't emit, because when you burn the candles, basically they're creating VOCs and they're going in the air, and your cat and you are breathing it, so it's not good. But beeswax is a good one, or there are some that now are made with pure essential oils, so that even if they, when they burn, they're not dangerous. Right. And the same thing with air fresheners. I think as humans, we also want to have things that smell good, but we don't realize that some of those scents can be, to smell, pets in general. And so air fresheners, maybe opt for diffuser that work with essential oils. Then the second important thing is water. Now, if you use, the regular water for your cat water bowl, perhaps you can check with your local water report and see if there are any toxin, lead, or other chemicals, and you can then purchase a specific filter for what is that toxin that you need to reduce.
Right.
And then a big one for me is everything about cleaning supplies and laundry detergent, because there too, we use things to clean and refresh and everything, but some of those are like very, very toxic. Think about bleach, ammonia, and those very strong chemicals. And also an important note is not all cleaning supplies that are called themselves pet friendly means they have no toxins. That just means they probably don't have the most dangerous toxins. But If they're not natural or bio-based, they probably have some toxins in it. So what I suggest, for example, for the laundry detergent, I recently found that the enzyme-based detergent are so much better because these are created purposely to destroy pet odors and stains. While our own detergent are more to clean our dirty, but and make like a good scent. And some of those enzyme-based, they don't even have a. They're basically unscented, but they do such an amazing job on my cat's laundry, and I absolutely recommend that. And the same, yeah, you ever heard about it?
No, I have not, but I will check this out right after.
Yes, they're great. Yes, they're great. So they're specifically made for them. So I think, just always be cautious when you say something pet friendly, because doesn't mean that it doesn't contain toxins. The same thing, another thing that I would just to briefly touch on it is the eco-friendly versus organic, because I think there's a lot of confusion between this. While of course we want to promote eco-friendly because anything we can do for the environment is great, but eco-friendly basically focuses on lowering the impact on the environment. So all of the manufacturing processes basically are focusing on reducing waste, reducing pollution, resource deploymentation. But they're not specifically, doesn't mean that they don't contain toxins. While organic, the whole production starts by creating products from scratch. Think about organic cotton, that they don't use, like when they produce conventional cotton, the farmers have to use pesticide to keep pests away, right? And those pesticides stays in the raw cotton. And then throughout the whole process is still in there because you can't remove it from it. So once you have the final product that is, let's say, a fabric cotton cat bed cover, and your cat lays on it, is in contact with pesticides.
Yeah.
While the organic cotton does not have pesticides. So everything organic is basically created to without chemicals, without GMOs, without any toxins. So I just wanted to clarify the point because, it's good to see that people are more and more conscious about the environment because we need that.
Yeah.
But if you're also concerned about your cat health and your own, because we live with them, so we're also breathing the same air, I will suggest, if you can, to choose organic and natural materials instead.
Yeah, that's a great point. So your cat beds, are you selling them online only? Do you have an actually brick and mortar store? How is it? How can people reach you?
Okay. Yes, we are an e-commerce brand, so we sell online. We have our website that is catsessentials.com, and we also sell on Etsy. And then we do sometimes pop-up shops, and we do some conventions, like we do CatCon in Pasadena. And so, which is always great to meet, the customers directly, to have feedbacks and, discuss and talk about cats.
That's awesome. Next CatCon, I'm going to visit your store. I didn't see you there last time.
Right.
Yes.
So they can find us there. If they have any questions, they can reach out. There is a form, or there's also an email. There is also a phone number on the website, and they can definitely reach out to us, and we're happy to answer any questions.
Awesome. So my last question is, what's next for you? Like, okay, cat beds, that's already there. What's next?
Oh, well, there is so much more that I want to do in the cat bed arena and bedding. Every day I come up with some new ideas. Now I'm working on a cat cave. So for now, I want to focus on expanding the line and just keep on doing interviews like this to make people aware of the importance of, having our kitties sleep in a safe cat bed.
Right. Okay, well, Melissa, this was joyful, awesome, very informative. I loved it. Thank you so much for your time. And I hope that many people will check out your website now.
Oh, thank you so much, Petra. I really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you for the opportunity again.
You did also. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Stay cat crazy.